Let's compare him to Vitaliy Rusal, an unbeaten fighter from Ukraine. We're talking about a good quality fighter from Russia, or from Ukraine.
Well-scored amateur, yeah. So good quality in that sense, Andy. Yeah. Now he's a little bit of an unknown in the sense, and this is the big thing. Hasn't fought outside of Ukraine.
They're not dissimilar either, looking at the stats.
No, the stats. You know, so you can manipulate stats how you like. They're not dissimilar. But remember, Huck has probably the most impressive thing on Huck's record, and I often say this about guys that have been carefully and tenderly matched. Perhaps the most impressive thing on Huck's record is that defeat in the 12th round against Steve Cunningham when he was only 22. And he'd been boxing a couple of years. He quit kickboxing, I think, at 18 or 19, turned at about 15 or 16 amateur bouts, or under 20 at least. Make it sound like a statistician, yeah, under 20 amateur bouts, then turned pro and fought Cunningham. They thought it was the right time. It wasn't the right time. Cunningham knew too much, stopped him in the 12th round. Now, in many ways, that showed plenty of heart, plenty of desire, and plenty of guts. Since then, he's worked his way through several other people. This is to say, his third defence tonight, Andy?
Indeed,
third defence. And Rusal hasn't mixed in the same company, hasn't been against the wall. But here's the thing, it's that magic thing. He brings to the ring that magic O. He's not been beaten. So you don't know how desperate he'll be if he's put under pressure. You don't know how he'll respond. But you know what? Huck will lead us down the path tonight. We will find out. There's no two ways about it.
Interesting that you picked up on the fact that he was a kickboxer, world champion kickboxer there. You can't compare the two sports. They're not the same. But once you've got the taste for being a world champion in one sport, will that give him what he needs to drive him towards the next level in this sport? Absolutely.
You know, he's probably, I'm not sure when he started kickboxing, I would imagine to get to that level, he probably started, like most amateur boxers, about 11 or 12 years of age. So he's had 6 or 7 years of decent competition. And even though, of course, you don't kick in boxing, unless you're, who's that nutcase that fought Elijah Tillery, who fought Riddick Bowe? Kick Riddick Bowe. Kick Riddick Bowe in a fight. I'm coming up with my own nutcase fights here. You're meant to be helping me out. Not you, people at home. I think it was Tillery. If it wasn't Tillery, let me know. Bowe had a kicking match. Then Bowe, of course, had the fan man. Bowe was in some nutty fights. Anyway, he would have had a great, a good engine from all those years of kickbox training. Plus, and of course, you can't kick in boxing, but your balance is there. You're still on your feet. You're still moving. Your hands are here. So he could have taken some skills. It's not like he came from rowing, where you bring in no skills. At least you bring in some skills. You see my point? You bring in some things across. A bit like going from maybe rowing to kayak racing. You know, you're both the same sort of thing. You're balanced in a canoe, you're balanced in a boat, this much separating you from the water. You're using your arms, you're reading the currents, you're rowing like crazy till you get to the finish line. Totally different sports, but slightly connected. You understand me?
So we're talking about high-caliber athletes.
Yeah.
I wonder, Steve, when you went for your walkabout, by the way, you didn't see a connection linking us to Germany, because not only have we lost the commentary team now, we've lost the pictures to Germany. So if anyone's wondering why we're not crossing back to Germany...
I didn't see the pizza that I've been owed. And by the way, could I just thank everybody who've been very kind to send in Coal Miser and Gold from Rotherham. Thanks very much for sending in. Bunsey, you look the picture of health. Have you lost weight, they want to know. And I haven't lost weight, but believe it or not, this is true. When I had 4 or 5 days in Las Vegas, Andy, and I told you this, and you thought I was joking, but Mick Costello from 5 Live told you the truth. When I have 5 or 6 days in Las Vegas, I actually live and eat healthily. I drink loads of water. Because,
in Las Vegas?
Oh, yeah, because if you drink and eat to excess in Las Vegas, with all the air conditioning and with all the flights, you get absolutely knackered. This is our fight, we okay?
Well, you keep talking, sorry.
Anyway, so you've got to, when I go to Vegas, I try and sleep early and rest, simply because if you stay up all night in nutcase bars or nutcase late restaurants, you come back, you get on a plane, you feel bloated, you feel terrible.
Do you know why they say that to you? Because they know if they send you a nice email, you'll give them a little name check on air.
Well, they get name checks on air. Everyone gets name checks on air.
Right, let's get across to Germany. The pictures are back. Captain Huck is ready to make his way ringside. Let's join our commentary team once again. Richie Woodall, but first, John Rawling.
Thanks, Andy. Here he comes. Big Captain Huck. 24 years old, the European Cruiserweight champion. Vitaliy Rusal has already made his way into the ring. He looks a little bit keyed up, a little bit tense as well, he might. And he's a real crowd pleaser, this fella, and they've turned out in force in Bamberg. been a pro since 2004. And just that one defeat, which you were hearing about on his record when he went for the world title against Steve Cunningham. At that stage, it was a move too far, but who knows what the future might bring for this fella. He'd be an unlikely sort of figure to be a world champion, but he's got a big heart. That's one thing you can really say about Marco Huck.
Yeah, he's learned his trade, John, hasn't he, at the end of the day? Just that one defeat against Cunningham. Third defence of this title, and yeah, he can punch a little bit. 19 knockouts in the 25 contests. He's pretty exciting.
And now we'll get all the official introductions for tonight's main event, the European Cruiserweight title.
Erheben Sie sich von Ihren Plätzen für die Nationalhymnen. Zuerst die Hymne des Gastes aus der Ukraine.
The Ukrainian national anthem for Vitaliy Rusal.
Sauerland Event präsentierte Ihnen den Hauptkampf des heutigen Abends. 12 Runden Profiboxen um die Europameisterschaft im Cruisergewicht. Supervisor des Kampfes, FVA-Präsident Willibald Palatin aus Österreich und Enza Jacoponi aus Italien. Geht der Fight über die Francisco Vázquez Marcos aus Madrid, Spanien. Und der Ringrichter kommt aus Italien. Es ist Signor Guido Cavalleri aus Bergamo in der Lombardei. Und hier sind die Details zu den beiden Boxern. Der Herausforderer boxt in Schwarz aus der roten Ecke. 28 Jahre alt, offizielles Kampfgewicht 86,9 Kilogramm. 1,82 Meter ist er groß. Profi seit dem Jahr 2003 mit einer beeindruckenden Statistik. 23 Kämpfe, 23 Siege, 16 Mal durch Knockout. Sein Coach Alexander Lichter aus Kiew, der IBO Interkontinentalmeister im Cruisergewicht. Der Herausforderer Vitaliy Rusal. Der Champion boxt in Gold aus der blauen Ecke. Er ist 24 Jahre alt, offizielles Kampfgewicht 90,5 Kilogramm bei einer Größe von 1,87 Meter. Profiboxer seit 2004. Seine Bilanz: 25 Kämpfe, 24 Siege, 19 davon durch Knockout. Sein Trainer Uli Wegner aus Bielefeld, Deutschland. Der K.O.-König im Cruisergewicht. Der Europameister, the defending champion, Marco Captain Huck. Wer trägt den Gürtel des Champions nach dem Fight? Rusal oder Marco Huck? Die Antwort jetzt live aus Bamberg.
Marco? Gentlemen, please remember what I told you in the restroom, okay? Shaking head, good luck.
Not a spare seat in the place. A sellout crowd has turned up to follow this man, Marco Captain Huck. He's got height advantage of around about a couple of inches. He's a puncher, and the chants go up. Vitaliy Rusal from the Ukraine, also with a knockout record. This could be furious once they start to open up, and that might not be too long.
Oh, good shot straight away there from Huck. Just came across that right hand, and just looking at Rusal, his record, I mean, he's undefeated in 16 knockouts, so he's a bit of a puncher himself. This should be quite explosive, this contest.
And he's fought in front of big crowds in Kiev, so he won't, I don't think, be intimidated by this today. Huck, of course, Yugoslavian by birth, former Yugoslavia, born in Santak. Goes aiming for that big right hand every time, doesn't he? And straight away gets the crowd up on their feet and roaring their approval.
Yeah, good start from Huck.
Uncomplicated, I think you'd say.
Getting straight stuck into him, isn't he?
Decent shot from Rusal over the top. Anything you can do. Sparring partners have been speaking highly of Rusal in the run-up to this. Admittedly hired hands, but nevertheless they speak of his decent technique and also his punching power.
We're just reading a piece earlier on Rusal. Alexander Gurov is looked upon as the outstanding cruiserweight from the Ukraine, but he feels that he's ready to take over that role now. But this is a big test for him.
He's physically the bigger man, Huck, isn't he? There's the right hand again. Trying to bully him from the word go.
Yeah, it's a good start from Huck. I think he's done his homework here. Rusal, like so many fighters these days, very low left hand as he's coming forward. It's not so bad if you're actually moving away from your opponent with the low left hand, but if you're coming forward with that low left hand, you're just walking onto that right hand. And that's what Huck's concentrated on in this round. A couple of good, decent power shots with that right has come across and landed on the target.
The referee let him get away with that, didn't he? Holding on behind the back of the head. There goes the bell to end a fairly action-packed opening round, and you can see people around the ring on their feet applauding the very, very fast start of Marco Huck. Trained by Uli Wegner.
Du bist Schlagsteller. Hast du den 1-2 getroffen? Und dann nochmal hochziehen. Führung, lass dir das nicht aufdiktieren. Der ist lückenhaft.
Getting fairly animated, as is his wont. But he's got to be pleased with the way he was able to find the target with those right hands. That's the big shot.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Positive start behind the 1-2 as well. He was catching, but yeah, it's good to see the crowd. I mean, because they've been quiet all night, but this couple of right hands going on, hitting the target here. There was that first one. Here's a 1-2 coming up. Misses with the left and then straight to the middle with the right hand, with Rusal on the ropes.
So a good start for the champion. Huck in the gold shorts. Was last in the ring in January, Huck, and thrilled the crowd on that occasion with a third round stoppage victory, and he'll want more of the same tonight. Another good right hand, solid, sharp shot. Rusal just walked into it. Not the most elusive target, is he? Not a lot of lateral movement from Rusal.
No, but I mean, he's bouncing up and down on his feet, but Huck's just biding his time. He's just picking his shots. And that right hand especially, that one missed, but that's the one that's been getting through.
That certainly didn't miss, neither did the left to the head.
So the problem for Rusal there, John, he's on the ropes. He's got to keep moving, got to get off them ropes. He's got to try and keep in the centre of the ring.
Huck keeping a tight defence and showing that he's got the edge in power, I think. They do love him, don't they? Bit of a character. Good hand speed from Rusal, but Huck again keeping the tight defence. And as soon as he launches his own attacks, listen to the instantaneous response of the crowd.
We see Huck there was on the ropes, wasn't he? He was in a real bad position, really, a negative position, but he soon turned it around. You knew he shouldn't have been there, then he sprung into an attack there. You knew he shouldn't have been there, then he sprung into an attack there. And alarmingly for Rusal, just pushed him back. It was quite easy.
Rusal was last in the ring in December. On the distance with Joseph Nagy. The only time he's gone 12 rounds. But he's shown that he can go the championship distance, but he won't if he absorbs right hands like that. Yeah. He felt that.
That was a good shot, and before that there was like a long sort of jab or long, it might have been a left hook, long left hook, and then followed through with the right hand. Just a bit off balance there, Huck. But he just disguised that right hand a little bit with that left hand shot first, and then the bigger punch followed.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt about who's landing the more concussive punches. It's coming from the champion. Rusal versus Huck, and at the moment it is the Huck who is prevailing. Here's Vitaliy Rusal, his trainer Alexander Lichter. Doesn't look as though he's got the armoury, does he? Doesn't look as though he's got the power.
No. He hasn't got the guard either. He's got to keep his guard up a lot more when Huck's coming forward.
Well, a decent amateur record. He actually goes into this for what it's worth, which is probably not a great deal, as the current IBO Intercontinental Champion. One of those belts which, well, you've got the look on your face which tells me that you don't really rate it.
There you go. Good right hand there, though, from Huck. Good shot here, pins his man in the corner. Power shots coming in, great straight left there.
Third round underway. And 2 in the bag for the champion. No doubt about it. Rusal leapt in with his own overhand right. It was only a glancing blow.
Huck now, just a change in tactic. Look, just waiting on the back foot. He's actually waiting for his man to overreach a little bit and trying to bring him onto that long left hook. Oh, gets caught with a shot there, though. But look at his guard, though, John. His guard's really high, his Huck. He's taken a lot on the gloves. Totally different to his opponent.
He really does launch when he gets in. There's no pitter-patters. There's none of the, you know, just touch him, look as though you're doing something. When he gets into range, he really unloads. Rusal doing better in the first minute or so of this round.
A good friend of mine, the British cruiserweight champion Robert Norton, he'll be watching this. I know he fancies a fight against Huck. Wonder what he's making of it. Looks seems very powerful tonight.
Good boxer, Robert.
Very elusive.
He certainly is. Oh, that's a good shot, good left hand. You can guarantee that Robert wouldn't be standing in front of him like Rusal is.
You better believe it.
Referee Guido Cavalieri. Rusal has rallied a bit in this round.
Yeah, he's done okay. But you can see the difference in the punches, John. I mean, Huck's every punch he's throwing seems to be with a lot more venom and power.
Not too many of them, though, in this round.
No.
Just taking his foot off the gas a little bit. Heads were worryingly close there. Now the grandstand finish.
Huka, so gerade musst du bleiben. So gerade.
Crowd love him, don't they? And he's got must have an inbuilt clock in his head.
Well, he had a good last 10 seconds, but that's about it, John. For me, I thought Rusal actually won that round. But he's not hanging around, this fella. Everything he's not trying to land with, he's trying to literally chin the guy.
Sweet science it ain't. AJ Liebling would not be coining sweet phrases.
Hop, 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 atmen, hop, Huka, erhol dich mit der Führung.
There's a right hand over the top here. That was a good shot from Rusal. That was early in the round. Huck pins his man here onto the ropes. Good left hook.
He's more of a Runyon character, isn't he? He should have been in 30s New York. 20s, perhaps I should say. One went low from Rusal.
That's better. That's nice boxing there. But again, Huck, nice high guard. There's not a lot actually getting through. I think Rusal should just target the body a little bit more. It doesn't need to be there on those ropes. Huck unloading there with big shots.
And the crowd love it, not surprisingly. Alex Frankel could do with a little bit of this in his style. Just trying to walk him down, get into range. It's like sort of the peace before the storm, isn't it? You know what's coming. There we go.
He works in bursts, though, doesn't he, Huck?
Yep. Well, you couldn't sustain that.
No. But he waits. There's little work with the jab. Just comes forward, and then when he gets his man in range, that's when he unloads the 5-6 punch combinations. But Rusal, again, he's doing better in this round. Here we go again.
It'd be physically impossible to keep that sort of thing going for 3 minutes, wouldn't it? He just loads up with everything.
Everything.
Literally everything.
But what he needs to do, John, he needs to work more with that lead hand, with that jab, measuring that gap, setting himself up. But he's just got one thing on his mind here tonight. He just wants to knock this fella out.
Oh dear me.
There you go.
It's called pulling him on, but I think that fair to say the damage has been done. Oh, he's shipped a decent one there in return from Rusal. That was a good punch from the Ukrainian.
Yeah, he felt it, didn't he? See him go back.
That was a good punch from the Ukrainian.
Yeah, he felt it, didn't he? See him go back.
I think he's still feeling it a bit. That was his most meaningful punch, arguably, of the fight so far.
Oh, good shot went in there from Huck.
Oh, good round. The cognoscencia behind the champion. How did you score that one, Richie?
Well, I've got it 39-37 now. I've got Huck 2 up.
So 3 rounds to 1. You gave that last round to the champion.
Yeah.
Here's some of the action from that round.
A couple of good right hands coming up here. Backing the man on the ropes. That's where Rusal, he doesn't need to be there, John, believe you me, but a bit scrappy here. A good shot got through there.
They really should have shown that right hand of Rusal's, though.
Here it comes.
Oh, here it is. There you go. He felt that.
Yeah, super shot. There's that right uppercut.
Referee didn't like it too much, did he?
So he was holding, didn't he? Brought him onto it.
Kind of think Marco might be a bit of a handful on a rough Friday night. Wouldn't want to upset him, would you, in the local?
He'd buy him a beer, wouldn't you?
Too right. You're on my side, mate.
That's better with the jab there, look, you see, from Huck.
Very square on, isn't he? That's the kickboxing background.
Yeah.
Different sort of fighter, but Matt Skelton always had that in his style. Same reason. Rusal working away, but he's not making any sort of inroads, is he? He's not, apart from that right hand in the last round, not really had Huck in any sort of trouble.
Yeah, he sort of drifts, doesn't he? His ring craft isn't that good. He seems to lose concentration and then gets himself back on the ropes, and that's the danger area. He's got to keep more concentrated, stay in the centre of the ring, and he's you know, he's picking his punches, is Rusal. He's working well in this round.
Uli Wegner shouting his instructions to Marco Huck.
There's a typical example. He was in the middle of the ring just, and then all of a sudden he's back on the ropes.
Solid right hand again. Now he goes looking for what he thinks could be a finish. Oh, what an attack! What an attack, and all around the auditorium. He's getting a standing 8. All around the auditorium, people on their feet cheering and bellowing their approval for that. It's the most un-Germanic response. They love this fella. Gum shields come out, I think. So he'll get a few precious extra seconds as Alexander Lichter replaces the gum shield. Can Huck finish it? Oh. Great shot! It's all over! It's all over! Tremendous right hand, detonated on the chin of Vitaliy Rusal, and it is another thrilling stoppage victory for the European champion, Marco Captain Huck. What drama!
Yeah, great finish. I don't think Rusal there was actually, he wasn't recovered from that first attack. Although he got extra time as the referee went and got his gum shield washed, he still wasn't right, John, and I think Huck knew that, and as he came in, connected with that first right hand, and then it was all over. Great finish.
He might not be technically pretty, he might not have fancy footwork, but my goodness, he is exciting. And what a crowd pleaser.
Yeah, big puncher. Tonight he couldn't miss with that right hand. And although, you know, it was, I thought, an excellent finish. The referee actually jumped in, but he wasn't recovered, Rusal. He didn't even, his body language, the way he went back to the corner, he leaned back on the ropes. He didn't really want to go on, but hey, Huck got the job done.
And if Robert Norton does get that shot at some stage in the future, the message is, for goodness sake, don't stand in front of him and take shots like that.
Yeah, that was a super right hand, that first one that went in there, that actually made Rusal go back on those ropes. Picking his punches here, there it is. What a great shot that was. Now he's just maintaining that gap, coming in with the straight shots, the referee's in. Great stoppage.
And the promoter roars his approval. Wilfred Sauerland, as you're hearing Steve say, he's been in the boxing business for 40-odd years or more. Seemingly forever, veteran promoter, and he has unearthed a little bit of a rough diamond here, but it is certainly a precious jewel so far as the boxing scene is concerned. Good to see Elvis has made his way here. I thought Michael Pass was up at the ABAs last night, but there he is again. So they will give confirmation shortly of another thrilling victory for Captain Huck. You'd certainly spend your money to watch this fellow, wouldn't you?
Oh, definitely, yeah. And, you know, his power has got to be respected. I still think, you know, there's a lot more he's got to do to improve, and I think there's room for improvement, but hey, his power was superb tonight, and his accuracy, his right hand especially, was very, very effective, and he's going to be a handful for any of the world champions out there. Rob Norton, the British champion, I know he'll fancy a fight, but it'll be a tough fight. To get this fella out of Germany, you see, is the biggest problem. Norton maybe have to come into Germany, which would be extremely difficult.
Absolutely. He'll be a difficult man to beat over here in Germany. And maybe at some stage he'll get another shot at a world title. We'd certainly hope so. He can keep on notching up the wins because he's a thrilling crowd pleaser. And here's confirmation of the result.
Hier ist das offizielle Urteil. Ringrichter Guido Cavaliere aus Bergamo stoppt den Kampf in Runde 5 nach genau 2 Minuten und 58 Sekunden. Und damit Sieger durch TKO und weiterhin Cruiserweight Europameister. Der Mann aus dem Sauerland-Team aus Bielefeld, Deutschland, Marco Captain Huck.
Victory for Captain Huck. He's still the European champion. The celebrations will be long and loud. The crowd love him. And personally speaking, Andy, I cannot wait to see this fella back in the ring again. He is terrific value.